Okay everybody, today what we'll be doing is taking apart and reassembling the Winchester SX3. So the first step is to make sure that the gun is unloaded. So if you can see right in there, it's unloaded. There's no shells in the chamber or in the mag. So I'm going to shut the bolt back with it, and I'm going to start by taking the top part of the mag tube off. Okay, once you have that offset to the side, don't lose it. You're going to take your front foregrip and slide it forward until it pops off. After doing that, you're going to grab the barrel and your receiver and you're going to pull it off. Then you'll have your piston, springs, and that'll be it for the front end. Next, you're going to take your charging handle and just pull it right out and it'll pop out. Then you'll take your bolt and just push it forward and it'll slide out. Your bolt will come with two pieces, top part, lower part. Make sure you keep both those together. Next, you'll need some tools. So these pins right here and here you want to pop out. After popping those pins out, your trigger assembly will pop out. So, as of now, you can see down into the gun, and you want to make sure you clean this back area really good. If you want to break it down even further, right here there's two screw holes. It's a Phillips screw. You're going to undo both of these. This will pop off. Inside you're going to have a nut. Undo that nut and you'll be able to access a back plate. Take that off too and your whole butt stock will come off and you'll be able to access your action spring in the back. And make sure you keep that clean because that'll rust the fastest. So when cleaning this, I usually put some oil down on this track here where the bolt runs. On this first spring you take out, I usually oil that lightly. That way it does not rust. Clean your piston off really well, the best as you can with the rag. This black thing, I usually just give it a quick wipe down and it'll be fine. Make sure you put a little oil on your charging handle. That way it doesn't get rusted into your gun. Trigger assembly. Make sure you get this wiped down really well. You can use a rag with some oil. Just make sure it's wiped nice and good because you don't want this to start acting up on you. Now with your bolt, usually I'll put some oil right here on this edge, both edges of the top part, and put it back in. And I usually mess with it like that a little bit to get the oil spread around. Right here, you're going to put a little more oil because this is what's going to go in that track inside your gun. Same with this little part here because that's going to run on a track also. Next, with the barrel, what I do is I'll take my choke out. And I'm going to lightly oil the threads of this, that way it doesn't get rusted into my gun. And then I'm going to put it back into the gun. Once it's in, I'm going to take a cleaning kit and I'm going to run the rod through the barrel and make sure the barrel is clean. I'm also going to run the wire brush with some oil down the barrel to make sure it gets really clean. Here I'm going to run a rag to get all the little fine particles and stuff out of the action basically once it's put together. So now, putting the gun back together, what you'll do is we'll start with the trigger. You're going to stick that back in. Make sure it gets lined up so you can get back the pins back in these holes. Lightly oil the pins before you put them back in. That way they don't get rusted in either. I'm going to take a hammer and I'm going to lightly tap the pins. That way they go back in easy. Your pins might become very hard to get in and out. If they are, don't give up, just keep trying. It might take a couple tries to get them back in. Once those are in, you're going to take your action, your bolt. You're going to slide it back in. It's going to stop right there. Now, this back part of the bolt, you have to line up in the back so it hooks on to your action spring. So when doing that, I'm going to push it in. I'm going to look down there and see where it is, and then I'm going to hit the button so it falls in. If you got it in, you'll find out, put your charging handle back into your bolt, push down on it. If it doesn't go down, you didn't get it lined up correct. So pull it out just a little and then re-put it back in and see if once you get it, it'll do that. So next part, you're going to take your lightly oiled spring, put that back on. You're going to take your black piece, put that back on, make sure it's lined up right here so it goes in. Then your piston's going to come in. You're going to put that on next. Then I'm going to take the barrel and I'm going to line it up right here. That way it's all connected. This will be the hardest part. Once you get it lined up, just go ahead and push it right on and it should connect. Take your foregrip, put it back over it all and it'll connect. Then you want to lightly oil the threads of your knob to put back on. That way it doesn't get rusted on either. Then you're going to tighten that down. And just like that, your Winchester SX3 is all put back together and nice and clean. Make sure you go out and kill some birds with your fresh new gun.